this video, I'm gonna show you how to have the mindset of a billionaire. There's a lot of people out there saying that they'll teach you this mindset, but they haven't actually done the work. I've turned over 10 people into multi-billionaires, and I wanna show you how to do the same thing. Now, the first thing I wanna tell you is, it's not like anything you've ever thought. It's not some crazy stock tip. It's not some right crypto coin. There is a very particular way to look at the world, and that's how these people view it. And in this video, I'm gonna give you that exact blueprint. I'm gonna show you how they think, how they feel, what they say to themselves on a daily basis. And if you model that, you will literally have a billionaire's mindset. So the first thing to understand is, how do they view money when they spend it? Most people are scared to spend their money. When they open up a food menu, they read the price. When they look at the car they want, they're not sure if it's in their budget. Billionaires don't think in budgets. They don't even think in context of money. They think in the context of time, because they understand that they must leverage their time in the best way possible. There's no currency in the world more valuable than time. So how does that actually manifest in your day-to-day life? Well, when you go to the shower in the morning, do you take your phone with you and endlessly scroll on your phone? Do you pull up your phone right now and you look at your screen time and see 8 hours or more every day? Well, a billionaire doesn't do that. As a matter of fact, they don't look at Black Mirrors all day. Instead, they enjoy their life. That's why they spend so much money on luxuries. Now, do you think a billionaire has to think about their meals, what they're gonna eat, who's gonna cook for them, who's gonna make their bed? These are all habits of the poor. If you go make your bed, if you have to go cook or grocery shopping or any of these things, I promise you, it's because you have the wrong mindset. Billionaires do only what they value. And I'll give you an extreme perspective. If you were about to die, how much would you give for just a little bit more time? You would literally give every dollar you've ever made in your whole life. Well, billionaires understand that once they've reached the pinnacle of wealth, there's nothing more valuable than time. And their obsession is maximizing the amount of time they get to have here on the earth and the quality of that time. So they get to make their days last longer. So how do you get this mindset? And that's exactly what I'm going to instill in you throughout this video. So if you're liking this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I'm about to give you the craziest mindset you've ever seen. The first thing is, they have unbelievable confidence that they will get things done. Now, if you want your house cleaned or you want your kitchen cleaned, there's a common poverty belief that people have. And that is, if you want something right, do it yourself. That is a belief that poor people carry. And because of that, they don't leverage other people, they leverage their time. And then they reach a bottleneck. So there are many entrepreneurs that make $15, $20, $30 million a year. And then they have no time for themselves because they didn't leverage other people. Instead, they leverage their own time. They didn't trust others enough. So you might be surprised to find that billionaires are very trusting, not of everyone, but of people they respect. And they trust the people that work for them, because billionaires are good at doing one thing. They're good at vetting out loyalty, and they're very good at delegation. If you could delegate everything in your life and become a natural born leader, and this is a skill you learn, by the way, then you automatically have bought yourself time. If you never have to cook a meal again in your life, if you never have to go shopping again, never have to do laundry, never have to clean again, how much time would you automatically buy? The second thing billionaires do that no one talks about is oftentimes they focus on a bigger purpose. They're not just thinking about what they need. They're not looking at the world through their eyes. They're looking at the world through the eyes of the masses. You see, when we came up with the iPhone, right? What ends up happening? I'll grab it for you. Everyone goes and buys an iPhone. This brand, everybody knows it. There's not a single human being on the world that doesn't know what an iPhone is. That being said, what do you do with that? Well, if you solve a problem and you're the first one to do it, everyone hears about it. Billionaires don't think about, damn, I don't have money for rent. How am I gonna make my rent? How can I help someone else make their rent? They don't think that way. They don't think from their paradigm. They think from the paradigm of the masses. And what do the masses want? Well, let's break down our instincts. We either want to reproduce or survive. And if you're a billionaire, you're thinking, okay, what are some things that everyone's gonna want? Well, Elon Musk keeps doing this time and time again. He makes the most affordable car where you don't have to pay for gas, Tesla. He made Starlink, so you have internet all over the world. He made literally a monopoly on rockets. You got SpaceX. Every single person on the masses is using Twitter, X, right? A platform where you can just go do whatever you want. So if you look at Elon, who's the wealthiest man in the world, everything he touches is entirely focused on what the masses are focused on. You know, when you go fishing, do you give the fish the food that you want to eat, or do you feed the fish the food that it wants to eat? That's how billionaires think. They're not thinking about the fact that they're eating filet mignon. Instead, they're feeding everyone McDonald's. And that's why they're able to have such massive success in whatever business they touch. Now, what's next in a billionaire's mindset? They have zero self-doubt. And I mean zero. There is never a thought in their head that says it is not possible to get this done. Why is that important? Because most people think that it's normal to feel self-doubt. It's normal not to be confident. But that is a lie. It is a golden cage they put you into to make you feel comfortable. So they imprison you with limiting beliefs. Who are they? Well, if you're a billionaire, do you want to have competition from a bunch of confident people? Do you want every single person to have maximum self-belief, constantly think their way through problems and go start businesses? No, you want to make it to where you have no competition. And that's how billionaires have designed the world. As a matter of fact, that's what Rockefeller did. Rockefeller guaranteed that no one else would be able to compete with him. He changed the entire culture. He even has a quote where he says, "I don't want a nation of entrepreneurs, I want a nation of workers." Why? Because he wanted to create a slave mindset. Think of me as the person who frees you from the slave virus. How do I do that? Well, you're either confident you're going to fail or you're confident you're going to win. They have zero self-doubt. What does it look like? It looks like a new ambitious idea. Not $1 million a year, not $100 million a year, but tens of billions of dollars a year in revenue is what they set their mind to. And then they go, well, I know I can make it happen. Now, if you try to build a cookie shop and you're like, I want to make $100,000 a year, you might make $100,000 a year. But if you say, I want to make $50 million this year, you know for a fact one cookie shop won't cut it. As a matter of fact, the entire business model may not even make sense to do, and you won't even try. The problem is you're wasting your most valuable resource, time, trying things that fail. You see, a lot of entrepreneurs are like, try until you fail. Try again and you'll fail. Try again and you'll fail. Failure is not real. In a billionaire's mind, there is no failure. There's just, we have a problem and then there's a solution. Because again, they don't sit there and go, oh, I feel bad, I'm stressed out. They don't get stressed. Imagine never getting stressed. The top 1% of the 1% of the world doesn't get stressed out. Imagine competing with someone who's never worried about problems. Imagine competing with someone who never has any worry or self-doubt. It is impossible to even be on the same playing field unless, and this is the key, unless you get rid of your limiting beliefs. Now, if you look at Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, what made them stand out? It wasn't necessarily their big height and their crazy athletic capability. It was the fact that they had zero self-doubt. So the self-doubt virus is one of the biggest contagions across the entire planet. People don't think it's possible for others to spend a lot of money with them. They don't think it's possible to go infinitely make a lot of money. And because of that, they sell their time for a little bit of money. This is where the bad relationship with money was born. It's the fact that you have all these limiting beliefs that stop you from actually leveling up. Now, even if you're at $30 or $40 million a year or beyond, but you don't have time, that tells me that there are limiting beliefs that are consuming you. You must put those aside. So, what else does a billionaire have? How do they talk to themselves? Every single one says the same thing. They all say these three words: I'm the best. Every single person who reaches the pinnacle of their field believes they are the best, not because they're just better than you, but because saying those three words, identifying with being the best, creates what? It literally creates a standard, a benchmark that you have to maintain regardless of what happens in your life. That being said, if I'm going to maintain a standard of being the best, I will work out more than you. I will become more efficient. I will charge more. I'll have a better product. I'll have better solutions. And I will create a better overall business than someone who doesn't have that standard. But if you believe you're the best, that is your self-talk. You wake up every day and you breathe it like it's oxygen. I'm the best at what I do. You will literally breed the success of a billionaire. Now here's the last one, and this is obviously going to be key. Consistency. They create an environment where they're allowed to be consistent. If you're in an environment where the only food you have in the fridge is literally cheesecake and ice cream and milkshakes, you will inevitably get fat because that's what's in your environment. You have to feed your future self. Imagine you're about to have a baby. You'll go get a crib. You'll prepare the home for the baby. If you want to prepare your life for your future self so they can arrive you must create an environment where you welcome that version of yourself. What does that environment feel like? What does it look like? Who are you in that environment? I have the answer. It's probably not with your parents. It's probably not with a toxic relationship. It's probably not with friends that constantly doubt you. It is in an environment where you can consistently show up and enter a peak state, where you could show up and your environment is constantly rewarding your thoughts. It's not like you're sitting there in poverty. You are changing your environment to reflect what's inside of your mind. Now, if you're interested in truly leveling up, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, but I want to offer you something even crazier. My job has been for the last decade to literally brainwash people into having the most powerful mindset they can. I'm having an event here at my Malibu villa in February called Mental Billionaire, where I will literally program your brain for you. Literally what luxury is, right? Luxury is the best result in the shortest amount of time. Instead of doing years of personal growth, instead of trying to figure out what your demons are, you just show up to my house, and over 2 days, I give you the mindset you need to have to go be a billionaire. Zero hesitation, unbelievable amounts of self-confidence, no limiting beliefs, and more importantly, infinite, endless motivation. So you'll find a link in the description. Go ahead and apply to be part of that event. That is probably going to be my most popular event ever. It is not cheap. It starts at $30,000 and it will sell out. So very intimate group, unbelievably successful group, but make sure you click that link below and apply to be part of Mental Billionaire. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and let's make sure you level up so you can be the most successful version of yourself.